Welcome to De La Cruz Stadium. I'm Jose Zerluki along with my broadcasting partner.
Jack Costa.
As today we will see our Wolverines performing against the Coral Reef Barracudas. As the Wolverines are 3-2 on the season, coming off of a tough loss against their arch rivals, the Columbus Explorers, 21-7. As the Wolverines will kick it off to Coral Reef as the ball in the kickoff fell off of the kickstand. As today, a key to success for the Wolverines is going to be Don Cheney in the run game, as that will be a big part. But however, we will be seeing Belen's defense come out on the field first, going against his talented Coral Reef offense. As the kick is off, the kick by Brenton Rice, the brother of Javin Rice, who was the former kicker of the Wolverines, is now kicking for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Well, Jose. Yeah, the run game for Belen with Don Cheney is really going to be a key.
Sorry for we're having some technical difficulties, but we're back as Coral Reef's offense the quarterback under center, and this Wolverines defense has been great throughout this season, as we saw them only allow 21 points against the Explorers. As the ball is loose, and it is possibly recovered by Coral Reef, as I think Coral Reef will stay with the ball.
Barracudas recover their fumble.
As the Barracudas get the loose ball, as that would have been a nice turnover for the Wolverines defense, as they've been great on turnovers throughout this season.
Playing quarterback today for the Wolves.
Sorry, we've been having some technical difficulties with our volume. The Wolverines defense nearly came up with a turnover, as Coral Reef hands the ball off, and a nice tackle there from the Wolverines front seven. As this front seven throughout the season has been great. They've forced a lot of turnovers. There's been a lot of fumbles and a lot of interceptions in the secondary. As one player that we'll see that's been playing great is Jean-Luc Bovian, which we didn't really get to see much of him against Columbus, but the game before that against North Miami Beach High, he had 2 interceptions and a few tackles.
Yeah, he really had a great game against North Miami Beach. He had a nice pass deflection and an interception.
As the Wolverines come up with the stop, as we've been having a lot of technical difficulties, so don't be surprised if one of us is sounding a little off. So, as Coral Reef will punt the ball off to Don Cheney, as Don Cheney is getting recruited currently 54th in the class of 2020. He's a 4-star recruit. He's been great on the run game, but he had a very big play against Columbus, as hopefully he'll have a breakout play here. And a very short punt, it's going to be called a fair catch, so it gets a positive roll to the 41-yard line, as the Wolverines have great field possession. And that was a big struggle for them against the Explorers, as they started off with really tough field possession. Most of the game they were backed up to their 15-yard line. And with this offense that's not really big on moving the ball, they have a breakout play here and there. But this is great that they have nice field possession.
Nice stop for the Wolf. I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, as I've been saying. As it's a keeper, as that is Dorian. Oh no, my bad. It's Francisco Aguero number 44, as he gets about a 6-yard carry. Nice carry there. Nice little trick play there from the Wolverines as they kind of got this defense confused. And this Coral Reef defense really needs to stop. If they want to have success on defense, they need to stop this run game. As Belen's huge on the run game. That's pretty much what they base their offense off of. It'll be Dorian Gonzalez under center. As last game against Explorers, Dorian Gonzalez had a few passes. He did have one interception, however. But we haven't seen the Wolverines pass the ball a lot. As they hand the ball off and on, a big hit, but he gets the first down. As the Wolverines will pick up a first down as they'll move the chains. A nice first down there for the Wolverines as they're getting closer and closer to their end zone. So far this season, the Wolverines haven't been passing the ball a lot, but we've seen in the last game against Columbus, we saw adjustments made. The O-line has been improving throughout this year, which has been the O-line has struggled throughout the past few seasons, but against Columbus it looked pretty solid, and this game they haven't been looking too bad with this run game. As they hand the ball off again, and not a bad run there as he gets about 6 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Wolverines.
Nice blocks from the Wolverines' offensive line on these run plays. The Wolverines are moving the ball very quickly down the field, and I wouldn't be shocked if they were to score a touchdown here.
Yes, as the Wolverines have been driving on Coral Reef, this defense of Coral Reef hasn't looked pretty solid. They haven't looked pretty promising against this Wolverines run game, as the Wolverines haven't passed the ball yet. But I'm not really surprised because their run game is just super solid. And a few broken tackles. That was Daniel Esteban, who picks up the first down for the Wolverines again, as he'll move the chains. As the Wolverines are already in the red zone, driving on Coral Reef.
We've seen a mix of about 4 running backs on this drive. Danny Esteban, Rio Ruiz, John Chaney, and Francisco Aguero. They're really mixing it up with the run games here, and soon we might see the quarterback, Dorian Gonzalez, get involved.
Seen him play in other sports also, as I've mentioned in the past broadcasts, is they'll run the ball again, and not a bad run there again, about 7, maybe 6 yards. A decent run there from the Wolverines again, as their run game has been looking successful. As if this can keep up, the Wolverines will have some success, possibly leading up to a win.
They've just been moving the ball very well with the run game. If they can keep up this, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't pass the ball all game.
This is almost a must-win situation for the Wolverines, as since coming off the loss against the Explorers, which was a devastating loss, it was a 2-possession game, a very competitive game, as Francisco Aguero keeps the ball, as he picks up the first down on about the 2-yard line, or 3-yard line, as that's another first down for the Wolverines, as they've been driving on Coral Reef, and there's a timeout called on Coral Reef. As the Wolverines' run game has been looking successful, and that was and against Columbus, it started off a little rocky in the first half, but then it was improving throughout the game.
It wouldn't surprise me to hear the Belen tried and punched the ball in here, as their running game has gone down the field really well, especially running through the tackles and with the middle of the offensive line.
We haven't seen a lot of Don Shaney. He's run the ball a few times, but we've seen the backup running backs, such as Daniel Esteban and Francisco Aguero. Francisco Aguero just had a very nice carry that almost got into the end. He almost found his way into the end zone. But as the Wolverines have very talented running backs, and the O-line helps with the run game also.
So what do you think is going to happen here, Jose? Do you think we're going to see maybe a play-action pass or a run?
I doubt a play-action pass. I think they're going to run the ball up the gut or to the sidelines, because this run game has just been looking phenomenal throughout this game. Wolverines, as they'll run the ball, as he is stopped. A nice tackle there for Coral Reef. And Coral Reef is looking for a stop here, as it'd be really nice for Coral Reef's defense to just allow 3 points. But this Wolverines offense really wants a touchdown to open up on their first possession with a lead 6 or possibly 7-0.
Nice stuff from the defensive line. That's what they need to do. They got some penetration. They were able to stop the running back in the backfield.
As that is Daniel Esteban. He finds the end zone for the Wolverines, and the Wolverines, on their opening possession, will score a touchdown as they will have a 6-0 lead on Coral Reef. Just
Nice.
like that, on the first possession, all the Wolverines needed to do was keep on running the ball, as this front seven and secondary of Coral Reef did not stand a chance on this drive.
Nice start for the Wolverines getting out to an early lead. That's something we didn't see against Columbus, and the defense plays a lot better with a lead.
Yes, that is a nice statement there by Jack, as Brenton Rice will be the kicker. He's been looking great throughout the few games, only a few missed field goals, and it's a fake field goal as he doesn't get into the end zone, as that probably wasn't a two-point conversion, though the long snapper didn't have a good snap. He snapped it low, as the holder did a smart play there, trying to find his way into the end zone, but he couldn't get his way into the end zone, as the Wolverines have a lead 6-0 on Coral Reef.
Yeah, there was a nice stop there by the Coral Reef defense. It was a low snap, and the holder tried to take it to the end zone. He almost got there, but he was stopped at the 2-yard line.
As Brenton Rice will kick it off for the Wolverines, as the Wolverines have a 6-0 lead on Coral Reef, as this run game for the Wolverines has been looking phenomenal throughout that first drive. And a nice kick there by Brenton Rice. It's muffed as he's going to try to return it as he slips, and he gets to about the 23, maybe 24-yard line, as Coral Reef will have not bad field possession, but against this Wolverines defense, you really want to have solid field possession. You don't want to be backed up behind the 25-yard line.
That was the cornerback, Deshaun Clark, on the return. Looked like he had a shot to be a nice return, but unfortunately, for him, he slipped. Yes, this Wolverines defense can really stop you well if you don't get good field position. And watch out for a turnover, which could quickly lead to a Belen scoring drive.
As this Wolverines defense throughout this season, especially against North Miami Beach High, which was their most recent home game, they had a lot of turnovers, especially on special teams. The special teams defense can pull off turnovers, which is very surprising for any team.
Yes, in the last game against Columbus, we saw 2 muff punts. One that gave Belen a shot to get back in the game in the fourth quarter. Special teams can change the game, whether it's an onside kick, a blocked punt, or a punt return. So watch out for that today.
And also, it's very nice that the Wolverines scored a touchdown because, fun fact, they averaged 0 points in the first quarter. So they already have 6 points on the board on Coral Reef. Coral Reef, they'll run the ball as he will be stuffed at the line of scrimmage. A nice defense there from the Wolverines front seven, as throughout the season they've been great against the run game. However, in that first half against Columbus, they did look a little rocky, but in that second half they forced 2 fumbles.
The sophomore running back, Kano Dean, really has struggled finding any room on the ground behind his offensive line. While I'd be surprised if they continued running it and would think that they would start going to the passing game more.
A big third down here for this Wolverines defense. If they could come up with a stop, they might have very nice field possession, because that's looking out on the last punt. The punter didn't have such a great punt, as the Wolverines will hope for that to happen again, as there was a run there for about 6 yards from the quarterback, as it'll be a 4th down. A nice stop there from the Wolverines.
That was the quarterback, Andres Ruiz Sanchez, on the carry, his first carry of the game. we really haven't seen anything from this Coral Reef passing offense, and really not much from the rushing offense either. We've seen 2 quick 3-and-outs on 6 plays.
And Don Shaney will be returning it along with one of his fellow Belen teammates. As this punter, he did not have a good kick on the last try, but he hoped to have another solid kick this time out. And about a 30-yard punt, not the kind of punt that Coral Reef was looking for, but the kind of punt that Belen was looking for, as the Wolverines will have great field possession.
Yes, that sets them up in their own 47-yard line, which basically cuts off all of their own territory, which is half the field. That's great to see that they're only going to need about 50 yards to get into this end zone, which I would love to see them do.
And what would also be nice if we could see in this drive, but they probably won't do it since this run game has been looking phenomenal, as I've said before, with Don Shaney, Daniel Esteban, and Francisco Aguero, is Dorian Gonzalez passing the ball. He is a very talented passer. We did see him pass the ball against Columbus. He didn't do so bad, even though he had 1 interception. But he didn't look that bad. He had a decent amount of yardage. There's a run there from the Wolverines for about 6 yards by Daniel Esteban, the backup running back.
Last week, Dorian Gonzalez actually got hurt midway through the game against Columbus, and the freshman Fernando Mendoza had to come in. If Dorian were to get hurt today, that would be a big loss for Belen, as he is very athletic and can run the ball, which goes perfectly with Belen's offense.
And also, if you think it would be a huge loss, even though Fernando Mendoza is very talented, he does have a lot of potential. He is very young. He's only a freshman playing in varsity. As there's Francisco Aguero, he goes through a tackle as he picks up a first down at about the 35-yard line. A big first down there for the Wolverines, an 11-yard run.
Nice play call there by Eddie Delgado. He handed it off to Cheney, who handed it off to the running back, Rio Ruiz. It was a nice 15-yard gain, and he was 1 broken tackle away from taking that one to the house.
Yes, as if he broke that tackle, he's talented enough, and he has a lot of speed, as he could have found the end zone easily. As it would be Dorian Gonzalez again under center, as he hands it off. It'll be about a 3-yard run by Francisco Aguero again. Oh no, my bad. It was Daniel Esteban. As Daniel Esteban, he is, I think, in this game their primary running back, since, as you mentioned, Don Shaney did get injured in the most recent game against Columbus. But however, that loss, it is a tough loss. Obviously, we'll feel bad for Don Shaney, but they have very good backups, as I've mentioned, such as Daniel Esteban and Francisco Aguero, etc. Dorian Gonzalez under center, hands the ball off to Francisco Aguero. He picks up the first down, going through a few tackles. A nice run there, as Francisco Aguero has been looking great throughout this game for the Wolverines offense.
The Belen rushing offense as a whole has looked really good, as they found a lot of yardage, seen some nice blocking from the offensive line, and is really moving down the field.
As this offensive line, they did struggle in their first few games of the season, but however, since the beginning of the Columbus game, they have been looking pretty solid, and in this game they've been looking great. We haven't seen them go against a pass rushing, but with the run game, they've been doing great. As movement, as that will be a false start on the Wolverines. As the Wolverines will lose 5 yards, it will be 1st and 15. As we might see a pass here on this drive, because they got a lot of yards to make up because of that false start.
It looked like it was the tight end on the outside that jumped. Really obvious. They might have messed up with the snap count. But that sets back Belen 5 yards. But with the way this running game is going, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't bother them at all.
The Wolverines on 1st and 15. As they've been running the ball great, as I think that's what they'll stick with on this play on 1st and 15. Because this run game has been averaging over about 8 yards throughout this game, which is an impressive stat. As they will run the ball, Francisco Aguero breaks a tackle. He breaks another tackle as he will possibly lose yardage. No, my bad. He gains 1 yard as it'll be 2nd and 14. A lot of ground to make up for the Wolverines on this drive.
If we were to see another bad rush here, it wouldn't surprise me to see Dorian Gonzalez do his first pass of the game. He looked okay passing the ball against Columbus. He had 1 interception, but he also threw a touchdown. So if he would come out here and throw the ball on 3rd down and long, they'd have a decent shot at picking up the first down.
As that's the end of the first quarter. The Wolverines are up on Coral Reef 6-0. As the Wolverines throughout the season has averaged 0 points, as that 0 points will possibly most likely move up, as they are up 6-0 on Coral Reef.
Yes, 0 points per game in the first quarter will definitely move up. Though that extra point would have been nice to have if it wasn't for that bad snap. That makes it 6-0 Belen, and an extra point, who knows, it could be costly if we lose by 1 point.
The Wolverines, we haven't seen them pass the ball yet. They do normally pass the ball a few times a game. However, we haven't really seen them only use the passing game. Dorian Gonzalez is very talented. Normally when he throws the ball, it's a very precise throw. It's a very nice throw. But with this run game, you might not even need to throw the ball.
That's very true, as it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't throw the ball once all game. However, the Coral Reef defense would have to eventually adjust to the run, as they may put every single person in the box.
And I'm actually surprised at this Coral Reef defense not settling out against the rush, because they're coming into this game, and I would imagine because of watching film that you would come in and just sell out against the rush, because this Belen offense is based off of the running game.
I'm with you there, Jose.
As Dorian Gonzalez hands the ball to Francisco Aguero, he will lose a lot of yardage. Oh, my bad, that was Jean-Luc Beaubien, who could play on both sides of the ball, as he loses a lot of yardage there, about a loss of 5 yards. As Jean-Luc Beaubien, his primary position, though, is safety, as he's been great on safety throughout the season. Even though against Columbus we really didn't see him that much, but he can also play running back.
That made it 3rd and 16, and with this being borderline field goal range, I think they're going to try and pass the ball here.
Yeah, they might pass the ball, but even if they don't end up getting a first down, they do have a very talented kicker, Brenton Rice, who can kick the ball almost 45 yards, which is a very long distance for a high school kicker.
Definitely.
Dorian Gonzalez under center again. There's movement in the backfield as flags are thrown on the field. It's a false start on the offense, and a lot of yardage now is going to have to be made up for this Wolverines offense. It'll be 2nd and 20, as that is, my bad, 3rd and 20, as they are most likely going to pass the ball. If they don't pass the ball, I won't be surprised, because they'll just want to get some yardage on the run and then kick it with Brenton Rice.
Last week against Columbus, we saw Belen on the other end of these penalties, as Columbus was playing very undisciplined and gave Belen some key first downs with penalties. However, penalties have knocked them back to 4th and 20, so let's see if they can convert here.
Dorian Gonzalez, he will pass the ball, as he's going to look downfield, and it is intercepted. Number 7, he read the ball like a book, and he picks it off, and good field possession there for Coral Reef, as he read that pass like a book. A very nice play made there by the safety, as Dorian Gonzalez will hopefully have to bounce back from that play on this next offensive drive. But this Wolverines defense can come up with a stop easily with how much talent they have on that side of the ball.
I don't blame that on Dorian. I blame that more on the coach, Eddie Delgado. Sorry about that. Dorian telegraphed that throw, and it was intercepted and nearly taken to the house.
As Coral Reef will run the ball with number 11. Oh, and he takes a big hit there from Jean-Luc Beaubien, the talented safety, which we saw him run the ball. He did lose yardage, but we said at the beginning of the game that he is a very talented safety. We see him come in there. A huge hit there, as he's stopped at the line of scrimmage, as it'll be 2nd and 10.
Nice tackle for loss by Jean-Luc Beaubien there. He came up and destroyed the running back for Coral Reef. That makes it 2nd and 11, and these passing situations do not help Coral Reef because they're a team very reliant on running the ball.
Coral Reef lining up, probably going to run the ball, but it seems like Belen's defense is ready for it, as they did run the ball, and Belen's defense was ready for it, as they allow only 3 yards on the carry, as it'll be a big 3rd down and 7 for this Wolverines defense, as this would be a big stop, because they might, even though they might end up getting backed up to their own 10-yard line or possibly 5-yard line, it will be a big stop because they'll still be on a 0 on the scoreboard on Coral Reef's part.
If I'm Belen's defense, I'm just selling out to stop the run right now. The Barracudas haven't thrown the ball once, and it would surprise me if they were to throw it here.
Yeah, it would. They haven't thrown the ball once, and I don't think they're ready to throw the ball yet, as they will run the ball, and Belen stops them, as it'll be 4th down and 7, or my bad, 4th down and 6, as the Wolverines will come up with a stop, as the special teams unit will come out for Coral Reef, as it'll be Sean-Luc Beaubien who will go back to about his 15-yard line to return the punt.
Through about a quarter and a quarter. But the stat line for the combined quarterback is 0 for 1 with 1 interception. Both the teams don't pass the ball a lot, and it would not surprise me that if the team that won this game was the one that stopped the run and ran the ball better.
As there's a timeout for Coral Reef, they might end up going with a fake. It's only 4th and 4. I said earlier it's 4th and 6, so it was my mistake. It is 4th and 4. This Wolverines defense actually on special teams. We saw them last game. They were expecting a punt. It was 4th and 20 against Columbus. Columbus was on offense, and then Columbus, they faked the punt and ran the ball for about a 23-yard run. But now I think the Wolverines have learned their lesson, and I think they will adjust if they do see that coming.
Me too, Jose. This would be a big, big stop, but if I'm Coral Reef, I wouldn't fake it simply because that would put Belen in some great field position, which is not what you want to do at this point in the game.
Especially with this running offense. The Wolverines do have a very talented offense with the run game. As the Barracudas will punt it off, as that will be Sean-Luc Beaubien in, ready to return the punt. A 6-0 lead. Not a good snap as it is nearly blocked. Not that good of a punt as it goes out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. As the Wolverines will not have that bad a field possession, as this is actually the most backed up they've gotten in this game. The other games they have started off, and the other drives they have started off in Coral Reef territory.
Nice punt there. He made it go out of bounds right at the 20. The one thing this punter has done a good job of is neutralizing Belen's return threats by punting it high and away from them. I would love to see one of the Belen punt returners get their hands on the ball and take it back for a long gain.
And with the conditions on this field, they actually will be tough for these players. It feels like over 100 degrees, as it is very hot, and that might affect both of these teams. As Francisco Aguero breaks the tackle, as he gets about a 10-yard run, possibly for a first down. Francisco Aguero again, he's been great throughout this game. We've seen him running the ball a lot as he's down on the field, as it did look kind of like an ugly hit, as he does seem like he's in pain, as it will be ruled a first down for the Wolverines, as they have a 6-0 lead, hopefully trying to extend it to a 12 or 13-0 lead.
This would really cost Belen if he were to go down, as they have a deep stable with Rio Ruiz, Danny Esteban, Don Chaney, and Francisco Aguero at running back, and he is a big, big part of that. Knocking down Belen's depth doesn't help, but Francisco Aguero would be a huge loss to a team that has really moved the ball well when running.
As this Wolverines offense has been looking great so far with the run game. However, with the pass game, the only pass for Dorian Gonzalez was an interception. I don't think they're going to throw the ball on this drive because of obviously the interception. But however, I will think that Dorian Gonzalez will end up bouncing back.
I think with Dorian going down, we're going to see a lot more with Francisco Aguero going down. I think we're going to see a lot more of Dorian Gonzalez in the running game. He's a very explosive player, even if we haven't seen a lot of it today.
He is a very explosive player. We saw him run a few times against Columbus, and he had about 40 rushing yards, which is pretty impressive for a quarterback. As it'll be Daniel Esteban as he goes through a tackler, as not a bad run there. It gets about 7 yards, as that was actually Sean-Luc Beaubien, not Daniel Esteban. Sean-Luc Beaubien has been playing on both sides of the ball. He's had He did have a very nice play on defense. He had a huge hit on the running back of Coral Reef, as that led up to a stop.
When Francisco Aguero hurt, it would not surprise me to see a lot of Sean Luke Bobby in the running game, as they want to keep that stable for running backs.
As they run it up the middle, a nice spin move there, as that would be Daniel Esteban who gets a big first down for the Wolverines. Daniel Esteban picks up about a 20-yard run and a big first down there for the Wolverines, as they're already in Coral Reef territory just like that.
Yeah, Belen's in Coral Reef territory for the third time today. The first time they capitalized with a touchdown, but the second time they had to end up punting. I'd love to see them score a second touchdown and take a 13-0 lead.
As the Wolverines do have a lot of time left in this half to score multiple touchdowns. They have 7 minutes left, as they have been looking pretty solid on the offense, and I believe that they might be able to score again. There's flags on the field thrown by the refs, as it'll be another false start on the Wolverines offense, as that is about 15 yards already on 3 penalties for this Wolverines offense, and they've all been on false starts.
Penalties are really killing the Wolverines offense. Personally, I think they might have scored on that last drive if it wasn't for penalties. Belen has to be the more disciplined team if they want to get in the end zone a couple more times.
So far, Coral Reef hasn't caused any penalties. They've had no yardage on penalties, as Dorian Gonzalez hands the ball off. That'll be a loss of yardage, a loss of about 2 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 17. A lot of ground to make up there for the Wolverines as they remain in Coral Reef territory.
I think we're beginning to see Coral Reef adjust to this run game a little more, which means we may need to use the play-action game to get them to respect the pass. However, the first pass didn't go so well, but I think Dorian could definitely bounce back and have some nice throws.
In the last drive, we saw Dorian Gonzalez in the same situation. It was 3rd down. He did pass the ball, and that led up to an interception. So I'm curious if they're either going to pass the ball or run the ball if there ends up being a 3rd down. So it'll be Francisco Aguero, as he gets about 8 yards on the carry, as it'll be 3rd down and about 10. Or my bad, 3rd down and about 13. Still a long ways to go, as it was actually a 6-yard gain. A long ways to go for the Wolverines, as they might end up passing the ball. As if they do pass the ball and that leads up to a 1st down, that is huge for Dorian Gonzalez in this game.
We did see Dorian have success against Columbus, which I would love to see him have some success here and get Belen in the end zone.
Dorian Gonzalez in the center. He is going to drop back in the pocket. He will pass the ball. He's going deep, and he has his receiver, and it is caught. As that is going, as he dives in the end zone. What a play there! As I think that is Don Shaney. No, my bad. That is Nathaniel Payne, as he stepped out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. I mean, my bad, the 3-yard line. And a great pass there from Dorian Gonzalez, as we were questioning him if he was going to pass the ball. He did pass the ball, and that was a huge way to bounce back off of an interception last drive, throwing a 44-yard play.
Nice throw there by Dorian Gonzalez. He lofted it perfectly over the defender, right into Nathaniel Payne's hands. Nathaniel Payne almost fought for the touchdown. However, he stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line, but sets up Belen in great position to score again.
Nathaniel Payne is a very talented receiver. He's also part of the Wolverines secondary. He is their cornerback, as he's been great throughout the season. He did take a big injury against North Miami Beach High, but he does look healthy now, as we saw him against Columbus and we've seen him here against Coral Reef.
He definitely does look healthy, as you saw on that reception. He almost got to the end zone, and he showed some nice speed to get past the Coral Reef corner. I don't think we're going to see a pass here, as Belen's going to look to punch it in and get this touchdown.
And it will be nice if the Wolverines get a touchdown. They will extend the lead to 2 possessions as they run the ball, as that is Francisco Aguero, Danny Esteban, who finds the end zone, as the Wolverines have a 12-0 lead on Coral Reef. A comfortable lead right now for the Wolverines here in this first half, with 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go. As we saw in this play, with pretty much every player coming into use, we saw Dorian Gonzalez pass the ball. His second pass of the game, he's 1 for 2 with 1 interception and nearly a touchdown pass. He has two passes with 44 passing yards. He hasn't looked so bad with that play. That was a very nice pass. He threw it right where he needed to Nathaniel Payne. As it would be Brenton Rice kicking the ball as it is up, and it is no good. He misses extra point. That is the second time the Wolverines cannot score on their extra point attempt. As last time it was a bad snap by the snapper, and this time it was a missed field goal.
The Wolverines look like they're going to win this game, but against some really good teams like Columbus, those are the kind of mistakes you just can't make. A missed extra point, a bad snap. If Belen wants to beat bigger teams, they need to stay disciplined and make sure not to make silly mistakes like that.
As we'll see Brenton Rice coming on the field again to kick it off for the Wolverines, as the Wolverines lead 12-0 here in the second quarter. As the Wolverines have been looking great with the running game, and we did see it started off in the first quarter rocky with the pass game. Dorian Gonzalez went 0 for 1 with 1 interception, and in the second half, in the first half, Dorian Gonzalez has gone 1 for 2 with 1 interception and 44 passing yards. Brenton Rice kicks it off, a squib kick, a very nice one, as Reef will return her. A nice solo tackle made there as he's down on about the 22-yard line.
That looked like number 8, Milton Calla, fell on the return. Let's see if this Reef rushing offense can get going, as Belen's been very good and has not really allowed Reef to run the ball at all. Maybe they try and pass it here, which they have not done once all game.
Reef, we've seen throughout this game, they haven't been able to move the ball much. They've pretty much just gone in the ball, and it's been a 3-and-out against this Wolverines defense, which is a very talented defense, especially that front seven. You can't really get by running the ball, and that's what Reef likes to do.
Yes, but the defensive line for Belen has really played well, getting some real penetration on these run plays. Hopefully we can continue to stop them.
Reef, the quarterback, and the pass is incomplete as he didn't get his feet in bounds. Number 18, their quarterback for Reef. Not a bad pass there as there was pressure from the Wolverines. He put it where he needed to, but the receiver for Reef did not get his feet in bounds.
Yes, that was Adrian Minaj, the sophomore, trying to catch the ball. Nice coverage by Belen. Almost jumped around and got an interception. However, the Reef wide receiver was not able to get his feet in bounds, and that'll make it a 2nd and 10.
It's 2nd and 10 for Reef, as this Wolverines defense has been looking pretty good throughout this game. Looking for a stop. It would be a big stop here with 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go. As the quarterback under pressure as he's brought it down for a sack. This front seven comes up with a big sack, as it'll be 3rd down as there's flags thrown on the field. As there's a lot of pressure there again from the Wolverines defense.
That was Rafael Ruiz, the running back / defensive lineman, on the sack. Great job to get through. Oh, but it looks like we're going to get a personal foul on Belen. That'll give them a 1st down, which is really costly with it being 3rd and 15. That's the kind of undisciplined play that you just cannot have happen.
It would have been a nice stop for the Wolverines, but because of penalties, that is the 4th time this game that penalties can cost them a few big plays. Oh, my bad. It is actually Jack was mistaken. It is 3rd down on 1. They're probably going to run the ball up the middle, as they do, and he loses the ball. And I think the Wolverines do recover it, as the Wolverines have the ball. A huge play there from the Wolverines defense. Again, this Wolverines defense comes up with another stop, but this time it was a stop and a turnover. A huge play for the Wolverines defense.
The quarterback was hit, and he just could not hold on to the ball. He was rocked, and the linebacker, Nicholas Garino, picked it up and took it back to the 20-yard line. What a play by Belen as this defense comes up with a huge stop and turnover.
This
However,
defense,
we have an injured player for Coral Reef, which it doesn't matter what team they're on, you never want to see somebody hurt.
this defense for the Wolverines has been overwhelming the offensive line and the quarterback of Coral Reef, as that's led to the Wolverines' success, and that's what led to them to this lead, 12-0 on Coral Reef in this first half.
Yes, and Belen's offense get great field position here, and I would love to see them score another touchdown before half.
There's exactly 4 minutes left. The Wolverines have insanely good field possession, as we've seen them throughout this game, as that's what they've struggled throughout the season. That's what's kept them from scoring in some games, such as against Columbus. It's the field possession is a huge part, a huge key to success for the Wolverines, as we've seen them getting great field possession in this game, and that's led to them to have this 12-0 lead on Coral Reef.
Let's talk about what we haven't seen, which is Don Chaney Jr. I think that injury from Columbus may still be bothering him, which would be a huge loss for Belen.
Wolverines running up the middle as he is stuffed. The line of scrimmage, that was Danny Esteban on the carry.
Nice run there from Danny Esteban. He's picked up about 4 yards. That's all you need to do really for this Belen rushing offense. Get 4 or 5 yards every play, and the Coral Reef defense really has not been able to stop them.
They haven't, as this Wolverines defense, are they going to pass the ball actually? I doubt it, because it's second down and about 6, and they're right next to the end zone, but it would be nice to see Dorian Gonzalez pass the ball. As it's Danny Esteban, he breaks a few tackles as he gets the first down. He's down at about the 4-yard line, a big first down for the Wolverines. This run game has been destroying Coral Reef's defense.
Belen's at the 3-yard line, setting up a first and goal from inside the 5 for the third time today. The first 2 times, the Wolverines were able to get in the end zone and score a couple touchdowns. Let's see if they can get a third one right here.
It would be nice to see the Wolverines with an 18, possibly 19-0 lead on Coral Reef here at the end of the first half. As they'll run the ball, as he is not going to be able to get in the end zone. Nice stop there from Coral Reef. This run game of the Wolverines has been looking good. Nice, and it seems like Coral Reef had some nice adjustments there to stop this run game of the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was Dorian on a quarterback keeper, but he really couldn't find any room, as with the ball on the 3-yard line, the Coral Reef defense is selling out to stop the run. Belen made them have to guard the pass with that 37-yard throw from Dorian to Nathaniel Payne, but right here at the goal line in this situation, Coral Reef is probably going to try as hard as they can to prevent Belen from running it into the end zone.
Dorian Gonzalez again under center. There's movement in the backfield as they run the ball up the middle, and that is, I believe, Francisco Aguero, who might have gone into the end zone, and he did. They rule it a touchdown. As my bad, that's Danny Esteban. A big touchdown there. Oh, my bad. There's a lot of confusion actually on the field, as the rest will go up to talk about it, as they said it was, some said, a few refs said it was a touchdown, and a few other ones said he was marked right at the goal line.
I thought he was going to be down at the half-yard line, but nice run to push through some defenders and get down there. Looks like they're actually calling it a touchdown. There's some serious confusion on the field, but that is a touchdown for Danny Esteban and makes it 18-0 Belen. Vernon Rice will be out trying to make his first extra point on the 3rd touchdown.
The Wolverines up 18-0 on Coral Reef, as it will be Brenton Rice to kick it for the Wolverines as he misses first extra as the kick is up, and it is good. This time he gets it through the uprights, as it is 19-0. The Wolverines are up here in the first half on top of Coral Reef, 19-0. As we've seen this run game throughout this game be very successful, and we've seen the pass game, even though there was that interception. Do you think in the second half the Wolverines are either going to run it more or pass it?
Well, I think they're going to continue to run it in the second half, as they haven't been able to stop the ground game, so why don't they stop running it? They're going to be looking to chew the clock with them up 19-0, and I think they're going to continue to run the ball over and over again.
It'll be Brenton Rice to kick out of again with 1 minute and 55 seconds left in this first half. This Wolverines defense and offense has been looking great. The defense has a shutout going, and this offense has a 19-0 lead on Coral Reef.
Yes, as considering that's probably Belen's final drive of the first half, the offense has looked very good out here. Besides that one interception, they've really moved the ball well, and the run game has been on fire.
It'll be Brenton Rice to kick it off again. The Wolverines up 19-0 in this first half. Brenton Rice with the kick. It's an onside kick, and I'm not sure it will be recovered by.
An onside kick has to make it 10 yards before the team can recover it. However, it only made it 9. The ball stopped just short of the 50-yard line, and that's a shame because I really thought Belen might have been able to pick it up if it passed the 50.
It would have been nice if the Wolverines did pick it up, and it would have been even better if they ended up scoring somehow. If they scored a field goal and it would have been 22-0 or even a touchdown, where it could have been 26 or 25-0.
However, now Coral Reef's going to start with some great field position in Belen territory, and they're going to have a chance to score before the end of the first half.
If you're the Wolverines defense right now, you're going to stall against the run, because this passing game for Coral Reef hasn't been looking on point. However, this run game is what they primarily do. The pass, he will drop back in the pocket, but he will run. He's going to scramble as he picks up the first down. A first down there for Coral Reef as there's pressure from the front 7 of the Wolverines defense, and then the quarterback scrambled. Nice alertness there from Coral Reef. As this defense of the Wolverines, as I said earlier, has been overwhelming the offensive line and the quarterback throughout this game. They forced a fumble, a sack, and possibly maybe an interception later in this game.
The defensive ends were about to sack him to behind, but he felt their presence, and he stepped up in the pocket and took off for a 9-yard gain.
Nice. It was a nice run there, a nice alertness from Coral Reef. However, they need to get closer for field goal range, because right now they are at about the 40-yard line, and that would make it about a 50-some yard kick, as that is extremely far for a high school kicker or any kicker.
Definitely. I wouldn't trust half the kickers in the NFL to make a 57-yard field goal. Half the teams in the NFL have never even made a field goal that long. If they want to score a field goal, they're going to want to move the ball about 15 to 20 yards so that the kicker can make this.
And I think right now the Coral Reef is going, I think they have enough time to go for the end zone. As they're trailing 19-0, they really don't want to go in the first half trailing by 16 or possibly 19.
However, due to those 2 missed extra points, a field goal here could make it a 2-touchdown, 2-point conversion game.
The quarterback under center for Coral Reef. As he pitches it back, it's going to be a flea flicker. He's going to go deep, and it is caught! A huge reception there by number 12. As Coral Reef has great field possession right now at the 10-yard line. As the Wolverines defense allowed a huge play. As the secondary looked surprised that they were using that play, which led up to possibly either a field goal or a touchdown, as the Wolverines still lead 19-0.
Looked like the Miami Dolphins last Sunday as they pitched it back to the running back, who then threw it deep.
So run the ball, and he takes a big hit, but he broke the tackle as he goes down for a loss of yardage. As he loses. Oh, no, my bad. It's in for no gain. Good defense there from the Wolverines.
Nice stop there by the Wolverines defense. However, Corey's at the 12-yard line and definitely in field goal range. If I was a Coral Reef fan, I would love to see him punch it in the end zone. But since I'm a Belen fan, I'm rooting hard for a stop here.
This Wolverines defense has been looking great throughout this game. However, this offense of Coral Reef has been figuring them out little by little.
Definitely.
There's a timeout by Coral Reef. Barracudas. The Wolverines lead 19-0 here in the first half with 58 seconds to go, pretty much 1 minute. I think it's enough time. I'm pretty sure it's enough time for Coral Reef to score a touchdown, but I think it's enough time for the Wolverines to get a stop.
Yes, as the end of the half is rapidly approaching, the Coral Reef offense is really trying to just get a score for the first time in the half and get that 0 off the board. However, you never know what can happen, and if they could force a turnover here, it would be huge and definitely a twist in momentum.
The Wolverines are in need of a stop. It'd be nice to go into the second half with a 19-0 lead, but I don't think that'll happen. I think the Coral Reef will get some sort of points up on the board.
And it looks like we're going to have 4 wide here for the first time all game. They're probably going to try and throw this ball.
As they will, and there's pressure again. The quarterback's going to scramble, breaking a few tackles as he finally goes down and in for about a 6-yard gain. There's Nico Gonzalez on the tackle. Pretty nice tackle there, as that's it for a 6-yard gain, and the Coral Reef is getting closer and closer to the end zone.
Looks like that'll put him about the 5-yard line. Really thought they were going to throw the ball there, but once again, the quarterback sensed the pressure and went and scrambled. He was a great job of getting out of bounds and stopping the clock, as that keeps it at 48 seconds, giving Coral Reef a chance to score.
All right, Wolverine fans, this is a big third
A
down.
big third down here for Coral Reef and this Wolverines defense, as there's a lot of noise as the quarterback is trying to run it on the keeper as he takes a big hit. Nathaniel Payne causes pain to the quarterback. A big hit there as that forces third down.
That actually forces fourth down, Jose. And I wonder if they're going to kick a field goal here to make it a 2-score game, or if they're going to go for the touchdown. I think they're going to take the points and just get a nice kick.
Yeah, as if they go for the touchdown and they don't convert, it would not be nice. It would not look nice to go into the second half down a 19-0. However, it would look beautiful for the Wolverines going into the second half 19-0.
Definitely.
There's a timeout called by the Wolverines as they lead 19-0. They have been looking, this defense has been looking crisp against this Coral Reef offense. However, Coral Reef's offense on this drive has been looking crisp.
They have been. Really, it was that one pass on the trick play that got him. But this onside kick may very well come back to cost Belen if they give up some points on this drive.
This offensive unit of Coral Reef has been looking pretty good. However, I think this defensive unit, first of all, has been playing phenomenal in this game. But the special teams unit comes out for Coral Reef, and they're going to go for the 3 points. There's actually a timeout called on the Wolverines, as I don't think they were ready for the field goal. I think they were expecting an effort for the end zone.
I think they're just icing the kicker here, trying to make him think of it a little more, put some pressure on him, try and block the kick, or maybe just have him miss.
The Wolverines, if they could come up with a, if they end up coming up with a blocked kick and going into the half 19-0, possibly 26-0, because if they can return on that kick, that would be one of the happiest moments in this game for the Wolverines. However, one of the most devastating moments for Coral Reef.
Definitely. A blocked field goal touchdown would pretty much put them out of this game and swing all the momentum in Belen's favor.
Coral Reef is going to go for the 3 points. It's 4th down at about 4. As I think Coral Reef, I wouldn't be surprised if Coral Reef goes for 2 points. Oh, and it's blocked! Recovered by the Wolverines. And the field goal is blocked with 19 seconds left, as that was Sean-Luc Beaubien. As we said at the beginning of this game that he is the sleeper of the defense and this team, because he could play offense. As you see him there come up with a huge stop there, blocking the field goal.
Yes, it looked like an easy field goal, a chip shot for the team. However, Sean-Luc Beaubien rushed after the edge and blocked the field goal. Great play, and that will make it 19-0 Belen heading into the second half.
It is 19-0 with 18.8 seconds left. But the Wolverines probably going to end up kneeling here. So I don't think they're gonna want to risk either an injury or anything happening going to the second half with this comfortable lead. Backed up at their own 10-yard line. Dorian Gonzalez under center. There's movement in the backfield as they will run the ball up the middle for about 2 yards.
And I think that will end the first half as Belen is up 19-0, and that is a great first half for this Wolverines team.
Let's have a quick recap on the first half. We saw the run game of the Wolverines very successful on every play pretty much we've seen. The lowest I'm sure they've averaged over 7 yards per carry. There's only a few carries that they got under 5 yards, as they've been great throughout this game. And we did see a pass game. It did not look good on that first pass by Dorian Gonzalez. However, in that second pass that he did, it led up to on that drive it led up to a touchdown. But that play, it was almost a touchdown. It was down at the 4-yard line.
Yes, and that is the end of the first half. Great recap, Jose. And we will see you at the beginning of the second half.
Welcome back to De La Cruz Stadium. I'm Jose Zaraluki along with my broadcasting partner.
Jack Costa.
As the Wolverines have a 19-0 lead starting the second half, as the Wolverines will be starting off with the ball as they kicked off in the first half, as they'll receive now in the second half. As this Wolverines offense has been looking pretty good throughout this game with their run game. We saw a little bit of the passing game. There was one interception and one nearly a touchdown. The Wolverines, their offense has been looking great, as I said. We saw a little bit of the passing game and a lot of the run game, as they're really heavy on the run game. The Reef's defense hasn't been able to figure them out yet, as they kick the ball off in a pretty decent kick, but it'll go out of bounds.
That ball goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line. I believe that will be a penalty, and we'll move Belen up to the 35-yard line. Not a great start for the second half for Coral Reef.
The Wolverines offensive unit will come out onto the field as they lead 19-3, and a big part of this lead is Daniel Esteban and Francisco Aguero, as they've been playing insanely good throughout this game. A lot of rushing yards between both of them. I won't be surprised if one of them exceeds 100 yards.
Definitely. We've seen a lot from the Belen running game. Jean-Luc Poby and Danny Esteban, Rio Ruiz, Don Cheney, and of course, Francisco Aguero. They're just going to try and pound the ball here to run down the clock and hopefully pull out with a win.
As this is a penalty call on the field. As there's a little bit of confusion on the field, and both of us are actually thinking, why was it as the kicker and the kickoff kicked it out of bounds and they didn't call a penalty? So maybe in high school they do not call penalties on that, as that's a nice run there from the Wolverines as he gets a first down.
Nice run for the Wolverines.
They ran into the wide side of the field, and there was a lot of open space, as he was able to take that ball all the way across the field and get past the first down for an 11-yard run.
Nice run there by Francisco Aguero as he picks up a first down for the Wolverines as they'll move the chains. This Wolverines defense, no matter what running back is in, they end up with a first down pretty much throughout this game. There's been a few times where they get less than a few yards or about a few yards, but most of these plays they've gotten a good amount of yards. As that is Daniel Esteban. Not a bad run there. He gets about 5 or 6 yards actually.
However, it looks like we're going to get a flag here. My main guesses would be either holding on Belen or a face mask on Coral Reef.
Whichever penalty, and if it goes on Belen, as it will go on Belen, as there have been a lot of penalties in this game on the Wolverines. However, with Coral Reef, there has not been one penalty called on Coral Reef.
Belen has gotten 3 false starts and unsportsmanlike conduct that extended a drive, and now a holding penalty. That backs up Belen half the distance to the goal, and that makes it 1st and 15 from their own 15-yard line. As a running team, you really don't want to put yourself in holes like this.
What's kept the Wolverines from scoring also is penalties, especially the false starts and the holdings. There's been a lot of false starts in this game as they run the ball with Daniel Esteban as he is tackled for a loss of yardage, as that'll make it 2nd down. And my bad, it was Francisco Aguero on the carry.
However, that's another loss of 2 yards for Belen. If you want to score, you can't keep going backwards. However, the offense did play really well in the first half, and including a long throw from Dorian Gonzalez. So, with it being 2nd and very long, maybe we'll see another throw here.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they have success in the second half with the passing game, as Dorian Gonzalez is a very talented quarterback. He can run and pass the ball as he hands off the ball on this play to Daniel Esteban as he loses yardage on the play. Or my bad, Francisco Aguero again. As the Wolverines have been losing yardage on this drive by the second. They start off with a holding and now a few tackles for loss from Coral Reef. Nice defense there from Coral Reef. I think they're figuring out this offense little by little. However, they still have a big deficit to overcome.
Yes, this is where I think we're really going to see Dorian throw the ball. As he's under center, and he quite has an arm that can definitely make this throw downfield.
As he will not throw the ball, he's going to try to run it as he shifts to the other side of the field. As he goes through a tackle, as he picks up a decent amount of yardage there, he gets it to back to about the original line of scrimmage.
However, nice run by Dorian Gonzalez as he was able to break a tackle, cut back, and take it 12 yards. But we're going to get a holding on the Wolverines, which moves them back even more, and will put them at about the 10-yard line, I guess.
And now I think they're going to actually pass the ball. I think they're going to use Dorian Gonzalez on this play. He does have a really nice arm. We saw it with the pass to Nathaniel Payne in the first half, which is towards the end zone, but there's a touchdown-saving tackle by the safety of Coral Reef. As the Wolverines most likely going to pass it. Oh, no, my bad. It is fourth down. They declined the penalty. A smart call there from the coaches of Coral Reef. It would be Brenton Rice kicking the punt. As it would be number 3 for Coral Reef to return the punt. Brenton Rice does have a very nice leg. He can kick it very far. We've seen him kick it over 45 yards. He does have a very nice leg. And a pretty nice punt there. And it gets a positive roll. A very nice roll there to about the 41-yard line. And on that play, on that punt, he definitely did better than UM's punters on Zach Fiegels, who has been struggling throughout the season, actually. And talking about actually, they won against UNC last night. A very nice looking win. There were 6 turnovers, so we saw the turnover chain 6 times. The new turnover chain, actually, which this time is made of pure diamonds and just like ice, I guess.
Yes, UM looked good yesterday, but you can't discount the opponent. They were playing North Carolina, who actually earlier this year lost to East Carolina. So they're not a very good team, and we'll see Miami try and prove themselves against some tougher tests later in the season.
And obviously the Gator fan going against UM, and the Gators have a big opponent this weekend against Mississippi State, as there's a fumble on this play. On Coral Reef fumbled the ball, but they were able to recover it, as that would have been a huge turnover for the Wolverines, as they would have had great field position.
That makes it 2nd and 10 from their own 41-yard line, which not a great exchange there from the center to the quarterback, as he just couldn't get his hands on the ball and fell to the ground. Lucky that the Belen defenders were trying to get to the quarterback, or maybe one of them would have jumped over on it for a huge turnover.
Wolverines defense looking to come up with a stop here on 2nd and 10. The quarterback uses the keeper as he turns upfield, gets about 4 yards on the keeper, as it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Coral Reef. This Wolverines defense looking to come up with a big stop here on its 3rd and 6 with 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter.
This sets up a big 3rd down. Though, I think Coral Reef might play it just to get some yardage and get close to the 4th down. Because with this field position, I think Coral Reef's going to be going for it, whether they get it or not.
Coral Reef we've seen them pass the ball a few times, but there wasn't really a good turnout. It was an incomplete pass. Well, one of them was completed, but wasn't even the quarterback. It was a wide receiver, and that was actually a big play. It was about 40 yards, which led up to their missed field goal. As the run there from Coral Reef picks up a 1st down.
Looks like they're going to mark him actually about half a yard short, setting up a huge 4th down for this Belen.
And the
never mind. They're going to give him a 1st down, which Not a good play for the Belen defense. It was 3rd and 7, but they gave up a run to make it 1st down.
However, this Wolverines defense has been looking crisp throughout this game. They've come up with a lot of stops and have gotten it. Well, they have not gotten a turnover yet or forced a turnover, but they have forced fumbles. They just haven't recovered it.
Looks like that running back had a hole there for a second, but he was dragged down by a couple defensive linemen. But looks like we have somebody down on the field as he took off his helmet, and we might have a concussion here.
As that will be a tough loss for the Wolverines. Concussions are never good. This Wolverines defense will hopefully come up with a stop. It was a nice tackle there from the Wolverines as they lead 19-0 on Reef in the 3rd quarter. As there's lightning signals going around.
Looks like this game is going to be delayed with a lightning strike in the area, and that is not good as Belen was winning. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back to you at the end of this lightning delay.
Welcome back to Dela Cruz Stadium. I'm Jose Zaraluki along with my broadcasting partner.
Jack Costa.
As we're coming back from a lightning delay that lasted about 35 to 40 minutes, as Coral Reef will start off with the ball. It's second and 8 in the Wolverines' territory for Coral Reef, as they hand the ball up the middle, and there's a flag on the play.
Looks like it's on Belen. So let's recap what's been going on so far. Last thing that happened after that 40-minute rain delay was Coral Reef picked up a first down and then got a 3-yard run, making it 2nd and 7. And there was a lightning alarm, but after 40 minutes, we are back and ready to go.
The Wolverines throughout this game have been controlling Coral Reef. They have a 19-0 lead in the third quarter with 7 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the third. The Wolverines have been controlling this game with their run game on offense, as both Daniel Esteban, Francisco Aguero, and the rest of the running backs have pretty much been doing a lot. However, we haven't seen a lot of Don Chaney, but that really hasn't affected the mentality of the offense of the Wolverines. And we've seen a little bit of the passing game from Dorian Gonzalez, who's passed for 44 yards. He's 1 for 2. He had a 44-yard pass to Nathaniel Payne, and he had 1 interception in the first half.
So, right at the end of the first half, we saw a 21-yard field goal for Coral Reef, blocked off the edge by Jean-Luc Beaubien. Really, that was Coral Reef's best chance to score in this game, besides this one, and it was a crucial stop for the Belen defense.
Big third down for the Wolverines. A lot of pressure on the quarterback as he is sacked, or he's forced out of bounds, as that's in for a loss of yardage for Coral Reef, as it'll be 4th and long, as they're going to punt it. This special teams unit of Coral Reef has struggled throughout this game and has allowed the Wolverines to start off all their drives with great field position.
Yes, nothing really open there downfield for the Barracudas, and the quarterback just had to run out of bounds to take the loss. However, a good punt here will be able to pin back Belen inside their own 20, which would be big for a Barracudas team that has really struggled with the field position battle today.
And their defense hasn't really backed up the special teams unit either. They've been allowing a lot of rushing yards and passing yards against this Wolverines offense. And a nice punt there from the Barracudas punter as it goes out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
That's some of the worst Belen field position of the day. However, even when they've gotten bad field position, they have been able to run the ball very, very well. I'd say they've picked up over 150 rushing yards this game, as Danny Esteban, Rio Ruiz, Don Chaney, Jean-Luc Beaubien, and Francisco Aguero has been really effective moving the ball on the ground.
They have, and don't forget about Dorian Gonzalez. I mean, we haven't played a lot. We haven't had a lot of minutes in the second half so far, but I think we will see Dorian Gonzalez passing the ball more throughout this game. We saw him in the first half. He played decent. He really didn't do much. He did what he most can do. As there's a run there from Daniel Esteban as he gets about 4 yards. He broke a few tackles on that play. Good defense there from Coral Reef.
Belen is going to continue to try and establish the run here. Well, really, they've already established the run. But they're going to keep it on the ground, chew this clock, and hopefully just end this game with a Belen win.
It'd be a nice win for Belen, bouncing back against the loss against the rivals, the Columbus Explorers.
Not only that, but it would be a huge division win, as it would put them at about 2-0 in the division.
Wolverines offense, they run the ball with Francisco Aguero as he's going to turn off field. Nice blocking there from the Wolverines, and he beats his defender. He's going to go on the safety, pushes him out of bounds. Francisco Aguero gets it down to the 19-yard line, already in Coral Reef territory.
That's a 60-yard run for Francisco Aguero. Looked like a sweep to the right side, and great blocking by the O-line. Nice blocks by some wide receivers. Aguero beat a couple people, and he was just running down the sideline. Had one defender to beat, was not able to beat him, but still a great run, and that's a Belen first down.
No matter what field position they've had throughout this game, they've been able to do something positive with it.
We might see a pass here with the wide receiver split out wide, but I'd expect a run.
The Wolverines are ready in the red zone. Dorian Gonzalez under center as they run the ball again. As that's Daniel Esteban as he is down at about the 3-yard line. Daniel Esteban, a nice run picking up the first down for the Wolverines.
Great run, as I thought he was going to get to the corner of the end zone, but looks like he made an unnecessary stutter move and was down at the 3-yard line. No matter what, that puts us in great position to score a touchdown.
Those are two nice back-to-back runs by both running backs, Daniel Esteban and Francisco Aguero. Tico Arizosa coming in for the O-line. They hand the ball off to Daniel Esteban. He loses yardage. About a 2-yard loss to about the 6-yard line.
That is second and goal from the 4-yard line. I think Belen's just going to try and punch it in for 3 more times. Maybe they kick a field goal on 4th down, depending on how close they get to the end zone.
It'd be nice for the Wolverines to extend their lead to 25, possibly 26-0. The Wolverines' offensive unit coming out onto the field is Dorian Gonzalez under center, hands the ball off, and a touchdown for the Wolverines. As the lead is now 25-0. Daniel Esteban with a touchdown run, a 25-0 lead for the Wolverines. An extra point should make it 26-0.
Nice run there, great blocking. It was a big hole in the line of scrimmage, and he ran through it to the left side for a Belen Jesuit touchdown. Danny Esteban's second touchdown of the day.
That's Daniel Esteban's
second touchdown on the day, and that makes it 25-0 Belen.
Brenton Rice will kick the extra point for the Wolverines. He's 1 for 2 on extra points today. The kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. It's a 26-0 lead for the Wolverines here in the third quarter with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And the Wolverines just keep on extending their lead throughout this game. This is their first touchdown of the second half.
Total blowout, as Coral Reef really is struggling with putting up a fight against this Belen team. They're up 26-0, and really they've shown no signs of letting up in this third quarter.
This Wolverines team has been controlling Coral Reef in every aspect today. They've been controlling them in special teams, defense, offense, in every way possible. Brenton Rice will kick it off for the Wolverines. He's been having a decent day. He did miss an extra point, however, but he has bounced back with that with 2 straight extra points nailed right down the middle.
Really hasn't had a lot to do today, except for maybe a lot of kickoffs. Belen has scored 4 touchdowns and not 1 field goal yet.
The Wolverines, nice way to bounce back from this lightning delay, opening it up with a stop and then a touchdown. A very nice drive there from the Wolverines. Only 4 plays on that drive for a lot of yards. A nice kick there from Brenton Rice. He kicks it to about the 2-yard line. It's returnable. And a decent return there for number 3 for Coral Reef. As he turns upfield, he's down at about the 36-yard line. A nice return there for Coral Reef. Lucas Otero with the tackle.
Let's talk about the Belen offense today. Really, besides 1 interception by Dorian, it's been great. They've been moving the ball on the ground, and they had that one long pass where they were able to get the ball down to the 1-yard line.
This defensive unit for the Wolverines has been playing outstanding today as they've overwhelmed the offensive line and the quarterback of Coral Reef and even the secondary. Coral Reef hasn't really been able to throw it deep or throw it downfield because of players such as Sean-Luc Beaubien and Nathaniel Payne. And the running back for Coral Reef is down for about a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 9.
You know, I've been really impressed by the Wolverines as they've managed to really shut down this Coral Reef running offense that's got multiple contributors and is quite dynamic. The defensive line and the linebackers, the front 7, have done a really good job of getting into the backfield and not letting the run game go anywhere.
And this defense overall throughout this game has been phenomenal. They've been stopping Coral Reef in every way. Coral Reef has tried different plays and they haven't been able to do anything. Coral Reef. Number 13, he runs about a 4-yard gain, as it'll be third and about 5. A big third down for this Wolverines defense, as if they can come up with a stop with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter with a 26-0 lead, and they might be able to put some points off the board on offense, which would be very nice to have a 29 or possibly 32 or 33-0 lead.
If Coral Reef wants to stay in this game, they need to get this first down here.
They run the ball again as he's taken down. Nice tackling there from the Wolverines. And it'll be 4th down and about 3. It's 4th and 3 for the Barracudas. The Wolverines come up with another stop, and the special teams unit will come on again for the Barracudas.
Another great stop for the Wolverines defense. Besides that one drive where they ended up blocking the field goal anyways, we've seen a lot of great work from this defense. It looks like Sean-Luc Bobian is back to return, who's a dynamic player, and who knows what he could do. Oh, it looks like they're faking.
They're faking it. On 4th and 3, a big 4th down here. And the quarterback, the keeper, as he picks up the first down on a 4th down. A first down for the Barracudas. A nice call there from the head coach of Coral Reef.
This is the second straight week that Belen is victimized by a fake punt. First, it was a 4th and 13 against Columbus, and now a 4th and 3 against Coral Reef. Belen's special teams defense has got to sharpen up if they want to get some more stops on fake punts.
Their defense has been sharp, but the special teams not as sharp. Coral Reef on 1st and 10, trying to get into Wolverines territory. They're hoping for a touchdown as they'll run the ball up the middle. The helmet came off of somebody as there's a flag on the play as he breaks free. Nathaniel Payne comes up with a tackle as he brings him down at about the 25-yard line.
Based on the helmet coming off, we might get a face mask on Belen here, which they would easily decline, but that's a big run and gives them about 27 yards and a first down.
A first down there for the Wolverines. A first down there for the Barracudas. There's a big first down there, and there's another penalty. It was on both teams. Another penalty on the Wolverines. They've really struggled with the penalties. There's been a lot of yardage that's cost them big. The Wolverines, who knows, they can have a 38-0 lead right now in the second half, which would be phenomenal. But instead, they have a 26-0 lead, which is still good. But you'd obviously rather a 38-0 lead.
Yes, it looks like there's some confusion on where the spot of the ball is, and they're gonna give Coral Reef the run. They had done sportsmanlike conduct on both teams, and that's offsetting penalties. So normally offsetting penalties just disqualify the play, but it looks like on this one they're calling them as after the play and giving Coral Reef the run.
Coral Reef, their offense has been looking pretty crisp on this drive. They've been playing good against this Wolverines defense. However, penalties have been really affecting both of these teams.
Oh, look like they are making the right call. As it's just offsetting penalties, it cancels out the play, which is huge for the Belen defense. And a terrible penalty by Coral Reef, costing them a big play in this game.
Coral Reef, the penalties can affect you big. It could cause Coral Reef to come up with a loss. So they're trailing by a lot as they really can't afford penalties right now.
Belen had been the less disciplined team all day, but right there, Coral Reef's discipline really cost them.
Motion in the backfield as they run the ball. Good defense there from the Wolverines. It's going to be 2nd and 8. A 2-yard run there from the running back for Coral Reef.
They weren't letting the running back get through the line like he did last time when he broke a couple tackles for that 25-yard run. Stuffed him right to the line of scrimmage, and he was not going anywhere.
And that should be the end of the third quarter. And going into the fourth quarter, the Wolverines have a comfortable lead against Coral Reef, 26-0. At the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth.
Belen's really moving the ball well, stopping them on defense, and getting a little luck with some of these penalties. The Belen team really looks good, and it would not surprise me if they pull out with this win.
And what led to that touchdown was their run game. The run game has been very effective. It's pretty much led them to a win. And I'm not surprised if both of these of their running backs, if two of their running backs have over 70 yards. One of them might even have over 100 yards.
Well, this Belen rushing offense is very, very good. And not only that, but the running backs get a lot of volume, which is why it's so helpful to have great depth at running back like they do.
The Wolverines looking to come up with a stop here. It's 2nd and 8. This is a huge possession for both of these, for both sides of the ball. A big possession for Coral Reef as they're in need of a first down. However, the Wolverines, if they allow a first down, that won't really affect them, but if they can come up with a stop, that might be the end of the game. As he drops back in the pocket, and it's an incomplete pass. It goes through the hands of his wide receiver, number 10.
Nice design by the coach, as it was a screen pass, and it looked like he might have had a shot at breaking big. However, through the hands of the wide receiver, making it 3rd and 9, as the Belen defense will look to get another big stop here.
This Wolverines defense has been putting a lot of pressure on Coral Reef. Coral Reef pretty much, until this drive, really hasn't gotten anything going. This drive, they haven't looked too bad, but the penalties have really affected them. Right now, they could have been possibly in field goal range and maybe put up some points on this Wolverines defense. But instead, it's a huge 3rd down for it's a crucial 3rd down for Coral Reef. As he drops back in the pocket again, he's going to look downfield, and it is nearly intercepted as it was tipped up in the air about 2 times.
Jean-Luc Beaubien originally got his hand on it and almost intercepted by the safety as it went right off his hand.
Jean-Luc Beaubien, he's been having himself a day. He had a blocked kick, he had nearly an interception, and he had a huge tackle on defense earlier in the game. There was a run, and on offense, he's had a few plays at running back.
Yes, big game for Jean-Luc Beaubien. Probably the most versatile player on this Belen team.
It's a 4th and 9, and I doubt that Coral Reef will be faking it. However, I won't be surprised if they do. And they will not fake it. They're gonna punt it, a high punt, but it is very short, and it even takes a negative bounce. And it was about a 15-yard punt, but it went about 100 yards into the sky. Not the punt that Barracudas were looking for, but the punt that the Wolverines were looking for. The Wolverines will have pretty good field position for this offense, especially what this offense has been producing throughout this game.
Looked like a Florida Gators quarterback Felipe Frank's throw. Not very good. That ball was only 13-yard punt and will set up Belen into prime field position when they could have been stuck back inside their own 10-yard line.
The Wolverines, it's a big first. It's a 1st and 10. A big possession for them as the ball is loose. It's a fumble, and it's a turnover recovered by the Barracudas. Just like that, the Barracudas get the ball back, and they're in better field position than they were before this play.
Well, they tried the double handoff again, but the Coral Reef was expecting it that time. As the second handoff was about to be made, the running back was hit, and the ball popped into the air and was recovered by one of the Coral Reef defensive linemen.
A very sloppy play from the Wolverines offense. And I think they're starting both sides of the ball are looking to get more tired, I think, because of this rain delay. It's really affected both of these teams.
Yeah, both players look a little tired considering how late it is.
The quarterback keeper, he's going to use his speed. Nice blocking there. And he is just short of the first down. It's going to be, I know it is a first down. He'll move the chains for the Barracudas as they are in the red zone, already in field goal range. And they're getting closer and closer to the end zone. And
very close to being a touchdown, but he was just tripped up by one of the Belen defenders. Great play to save it, but looks like we have an injury on the field for Coral Reef. That may be the quarterback that's down right now.
Right now, the Wolverines lead 26-0 with 11 minutes left in the in the second half. And the players seem to get, as he walks off the field for the Barracudas. This Wolverines defense is looking to come up with a stop.
After that fumble, really gave Coral Reef some of their best field position of the day, and one of their best chances to score. Probably their best since that blocked field goal at the end of the first half.
The Wolverines looking to come up with a stop. It's 1st and 10. The quarterback, he hasn't really been passing the ball much, but he's been running the ball a lot as he pitches it back to number 8. He's going to try to beat it to the sideline as he does, but he gets about a 6-yard gain. A pretty decent run there for the Barracudas, as that was Jean-Luc Beaubien pushing the running back out of bounds.
Yeah, nice play call there as they gave him a pitch to the outside. A lot of open field. However, Jean-Luc Beaubien has great closing speed and made a nice tackle there before he could break it big.
The Wolverines are going to come up with a stop. It's 2nd and 4. My bad, 2nd and 5. It was a 5-yard run. It's 2nd and 5. The Wolverines looking to stop the Barracudas as they'll run the ball up the middle as he doesn't get a lot of yardage. And he stayed up on his feet, but he does not get the first down. He gets about a 2-yard run.
You know, the Barracudas offense has had a lot of trouble running the ball up the middle of this Belen defense. The interior defensive line has played very well, while Coral Reef's offensive interior line has not played as well.
The Coral Reef trailing, they're in need of a touchdown. They cannot take a field goal right now, trailing 26-0.
This is a big 3rd down and 2 with 9.5 minutes left in the game. If they really want to have any chance, they need to score quick.
They'll run the ball up the middle, and he doesn't get a lot of yardage, but that might just be enough for a first down for the Barracudas.
Looks like they're giving him the first down, and then they'll make it 1st down and goal from the 10-yard line, as that is nice job of powering through the Belen defense to get a first down.
Coral Reef looking to score its first points, possibly a touchdown for the Barracudas, as they are in need of one.
Definitely.
The quarterback under the center. In that formation, they're going to run the ball up the middle. And it's the quarterback, the keeper. He confuses the defense as he's down for about a 6-yard gain as he was backed up behind the line of scrimmage about 5 yards.
I don't think he just confused the defense. I think he confused me and you too. I did not see that one coming. And it was a nice job of the quarterback by selling that fake and getting to the outside. Great tackle, though, by the defense.
This Wolverines defense looking to come up with a stop. It's 2nd and goal. They'll run the ball, and it looks like he's stopped just short of the end zone. It looks like he's down at about the 1 or 2 yard line. Good defense there from the Wolverines.
Nice goal line stand there for the Wolverines, as a lot of players got in that tackle to make it 3rd and goal from about the 2-yard line.
It's 3rd and goal with 8 minutes to go. The quarterback dives, and he gets in the end zone. The first touchdown for the Coral Reef Barracudas. It is now 26-6. An extra point can make it 26-7.
Nice drive there for the Barracudas, and nice quarterback sneak to finish off the drive. You know, on that drive, they really utilized their quarterback in the running game, which changed the whole thing, and they drove down the field and scored a touchdown.
An extra point for Coral Reef should make it 26-7. It's currently 26-6 with 7 minutes 57 seconds to go, and the kick is blocked. That's the second kick that's blocked today. It remains 26-6, and Coral Reef is not able to get the extra point. That's the second time a field goal attempt is blocked.
Well, that special teams offensive line really is not holding up for Coral Reef, as Nicholas Garino got through the middle and blocked that one. Great play by the Belen special teams.
Belen's special teams, they are, so far this season, they've been known to force turnovers and not allow points. As you saw against Columbus, there's 2 turnovers for the special teams. Against North Miami Beach High, there was about 5, and there were 5 turnovers in total, but I think about 2 or 3 of them came from the special teams. So this special teams is a very talented group.
Definitely. All the special teams and defense have both looked great today. The offense, too. Really, this has been a well-rounded, great played game by Belen.
The Barracudas will kick it off to the Wolverines. Wolverines still have a very comfortable lead. They've been controlling the Barracudas. The Barracudas have a very slim chance to win this game. And they do a sweep kick, and it's caught. A nice catch there. And nice blocking as he goes through a blocker. And he is down at the 39-yard line. And there was a block set up from the Wolverines there, but a Barracuda defender just came in and ran right through him. But, however, that block was key, and great field position for the Wolverines. They're at at Coral Reef's 40-yard line.
Nicholas Carino, who blocked the punt, blocked the extra point, snagged that one out of the air, and had a nice return all the way up to the 39-yard line. Good field position for Belen. This is one of their best places to start if you want to score another touchdown.
We might be able to see on this drive Dorian Gonzalez passing. Oh, great defense there from the Barracudas, number 50. Just got the O-line. The O-line seemed like they were not ready. There's a lot of pressure, but number 50 right away. Once he said hut, he was past that O-line.
Looked like a miscommunication by the O-line. It was just a free rusher into the backfield. And as soon as the handoff was made, the running back just got rocked for a 5-yard loss, my bad.
A loss of 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 15. We might be able to see Dorian Gonzalez pass the ball. He's passed it twice this game. There's 2 passes in the first half. One of them was a pick, and another one was a 44-yard pass. Dorian Gonzalez under center. And there's a timeout called. Oh, no, my bad. There is offsides.
Looks like the wide receiver on Belen lined up offsides, which is a very unnecessary loss of 5 yards. That's not what you're going to want to see.
Another penalty for the Wolverines.
Looks like we have Fernando Mendoza at quarterback right now. As with this game pretty much out of hand, they want to give the freshman some work.
The freshman quarterback, my classmate, Fernando Mendoza, he's a very talented quarterback as he hands the ball off. And a nice run there, getting about a 9-yard gain. It was 2nd and 20. Ryan Bertrand, the sophomore, I would say he is around a 4th-string running back, getting some minutes. And
looks like the Belen is putting their backups in the game, as this game is all but over, as there is about 6.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, with Belen in a 26-6 lead with a 3rd and 13. You think they're going to let Fernando throw the ball here?
I think they are. I think they kind of need it. What's the point of putting in your backup quarterback if he's not going to pass the ball? You obviously want to see what he's capable of going against a varsity, especially a freshman going against a varsity defense that really hasn't been played great today. But if a freshman can pretty much beat a varsity defense, that's pretty impressive.
However, I mean, you really don't want to give away points on interception here from your freshman quarterback. I think Belen's just going to play it safe and hand the ball off.
They might pass the ball, though, maybe once. I mean, you kind of need to put some trust in your quarterback, because if not, there's no point of having a backup quarterback. Fernando Mendoza hands the ball off, and that's in for a big loss of yardage. About 11-yard loss. Jean-Luc Bobin, he has negative rushing yards on the day. Whenever they've put him in, and against Columbus, it was Francisco Aguero that wasn't able to do much. For this game, it's Jean-Luc Bobin, as he's impressive on defense, but offensively, he hasn't been able to get going. The O-line has really struggled when Jean-Luc Bobin comes into the game.
Looks like the Barracudas are trying to save some clock by calling a timeout and try and get back in this game.
The Barracudas have 6 minutes and 13 seconds to try to come back. They have, as I said earlier, they have a very slim chance. They have pretty much no percent chance of winning this. It's 26-6. I would say not even the Patriots can make this comeback like this at this point. There's 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Speaking of the Patriots, they've really been struggling and have a huge matchup
Wow, and a
against the Miami Dolphins.
very nice punt there from the backup punter as he gets it inside the 5-yard line to about the 3-yard line. The backup punter, Luciano, get a great punt. The backup punter, he's going to try to earn a starting spot. And a great punt from him.
Well, if that's how you earn, if you're trying to earn a starting spot, that is how you do it. Great punt, and the ball rolls all the way down to the 3-yard line, as that'll set up Reef with terrible field position, the worst in the game, definitely.
They're backed up. They're pinned down to their 3-yard line, and their offense hasn't really been able to move the ball a lot this game, and now backed up how they are in need of moving the ball.
And it is a run by Reef, looks like about 3 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and 7. As it looks like Reef is hurrying up a little to try and get back into this game.
The Wolverines, if they can get a safety, that would be a nice stat to have. It would make it a 20-6 game with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left.
2nd and 5 here for Reef at the 8-yard line.
And they run the ball as he is down for a loss. For no yardage.
That makes it about 3rd and 4. If Belen can get a stop here, they may be able to just run out the clock and end this game.
The Wolverines, they're most likely going to win. If they can get a win, they'd improve to 4-2, bouncing back from a loss against Columbus. Oh, my bad. It's 3-2, bouncing back from a loss against Columbus, and 1-1 in division play. And they're going to run the ball. He turns upfield. He's going to pick up a first down and a few yards more.
Looks like he takes out a coach on the sideline. As he was tackled out of bounds, he came under and got the coach from the legs, and he fell hard.
Wolverines allow a first down there as the Barracudas looking to drive on the Wolverines now, hoping to drive all the way to possibly a touchdown with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. As they're going to run the ball with their speedy quarterback as he breaks a few tackles for about a 2, maybe 1 yard gain.
Not great blocking by the offensive line. Incredible penetration by the Belen defensive line, and that'll make it 2nd and 8 after a few broken tackles from the quarterback. He did a good job of getting out of bounds and stopping that clock at 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
The Wolverines, Nick Fernandez came up with a nice tackle on the quarterback. 4 minutes left to go in the game. It's 2nd and 9. The Wolverines are going to come up with a stop. And the running back, he runs it up the middle. He gets a few yards, about 3 yards on the carry.
That makes it 3rd and I'd say 4 or 5 from about the 25-yard line. If Belen can get a stop here with Reef pretty much out of timeouts, they could definitely end this game on their next drive.
They sure can. And they run the ball up the middle as he is not going to get close to first down. He gets about no yardage on that run.
That makes it 4th and 5 for Reef, and it looks like they're going to punt it, and that will be pretty much the game, as there's only
3 minutes left.
And with this, Belen can probably just kneel out the clock. Oh, however, it looks like they're going for it on 4th down, taking one last shot to try and extend this game. And
this could be a game-ending 4th down. The Barracudas don't get it. The Wolverines will have great field possession. We don't have a chance to see the backup quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, and the backup the about fourth or fifth string running back Ryan Bertrand. Ryan Bertrand is very talented. He also plays baseball, but he is a fifth string running back. But he is a very good running back. But that just shows how talented the running backs are for the Wolverines. And a first down for the Barracudas, a big first down there. The Wolverines do not stop them.
Forward progress mark good enough for a Barracuda
Looks like this
first
can be
down.
a first down, and they're going to stop, and the clock is running at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. In reality, this game is pretty much over. A great day for Belen, a nice win to pull out, and great job by the defense, offense, and special teams as a whole.
And they run the ball. He gets a few yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Wolverines.
Looks like we're going to get a false start on the offense, making it 1st and 15, and I believe once again stopping the clock.
It is one of the very few penalties that's been called on the Barracudas. They've been very disciplined throughout this game, as Jack said. Unlike the Wolverines, they've had a lot of penalties, which has cost them in the second half, and especially in the first half, we saw a lot. And a lot of them where they were getting near the end zone, and then it cost them 5 yards, and then they get another one, and then there was like a tackle for loss, which really affected them and kept them from scoring more than 26 points.
However, Coral Reef, one of their penalties kept them from a 25-yard run, which may have been their biggest play of the game.
And they run the ball again. He gets a few yards, and there's a fight on the field, and flags are thrown. Probably going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on one of the teams.
Maybe on both of the teams, leading to offsetting penalties and a redo of first down.
With 1 minute and 30 seconds left, you really don't want to have these kind of penalties. You kind of just want to let the clock run out. If you're the Wolverines, if you're the Barracudas, I mean, right now they have literally a 0.000000000000000.1% chance to win. And the Wolverines have a 99.999999999% chance to win as they lead 26-6.
Corey is going to need 3 touchdowns, 3 onside kicks. They're going to need some crazy stuff to happen if they want to win this game.
They run the ball. Oh, a nice tackle there from the Wolverines. It was Nathaniel Payne with a tackle.
We are under 1 minute, and this game is pretty much over. I guess we're going to see 2 or 3 more plays from this Coral Reef offense. Good game for Belen. Running offense pounded the ball. Defense did good in stopping the run. And those are 2 keys when you're playing a team like this.
This Wolverines team will improve to 3-2, bouncing back from a loss against the Explorers. This Wolverines defense looking to come up with a stop. It's 2nd and about 14 with 35 seconds left to go in this game. The Wolverines, they should have won. It's 33, and the time stops at 33.8 seconds. There's a timeout called, and I think the fans approved of this game. They looked a very nice one, 26-6 against Coral Reef, a division win, and the Wolverines bounced back from a loss against their rivals, the Columbus Explorers.
Yes, great game for the Wolverines today. Not great for Coral Reef, but good for us. That's a division win, which is always big, and sets us up in a better position to win another division title.
The Barracudas, it's 2nd and about 4, maybe 2nd and 15. The quarterback under center for the Barracudas, as he pitches it back, and he goes upfield. He gets about 2 yards on the run.
That may be the last play of the game, as there's 25 seconds left and counting. Great game for Belen. They made sure to get the win, and nice game for Belen.
I think the Barracudas might just go for one more play just for fun, as they trail 26-6, and they will get off one more play, and the running back gets a few yards back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's the game, 26-6. Your Belen Wolverines controlled Coral Reef Barracudas throughout the game in every way possible, with the run, against the pass, with the pass, on special teams also, and a great game all around from the Wolverines.
Great game for Belen, and nice win.
And we're signing off from WBLN. From WBLN Live. I'm Jose Zerluki, along with,
Jack Costa.
and the Wolverines win it 26-6 against Coral Reef, a division win. The Wolverines improved 3-2.